Talk to me the whole process. How does Joe reach out to you? How do you get it done? The whole thing. Let's go.
So I just woke up to an Instagram message, like it said, "Hey brother," from Joe. He said, "Hey brother, I need this table in my life."
You gotta
So
get in the lineup.
what's your podcast?
The Coach HP Show. We're on. What's up, everybody? It's your coach. Welcome to the #1 positivity podcast on the internet right now, the Coach HP Show. And today I have on the show, Scott, are you the greatest table maker of all time or what?
I don't know about that, man. I just do my best.
Dude, I stayed looking at your table there in the green room
Oh yeah.
of the mothership. I stayed looking at that. Is it an anaconda? Is it a python? What is it?
It's an anaconda. Did Joe tell you the story about getting that thing in there?
Dude, no, I have not. That's why we got you on here. But
Yeah.
I just stared at that, and two things were popping in my head. Number one, how perfectly that thing was done, and then number two, what do I have to do in my life to get something like that, right? Because I have nowhere to put something like that. But my goal is to be successful enough to find a place to, because I think that'd be the perfect, like, I don't know. I'm obsessed with that table, brother. So first things first, man. Let's talk about, where are you from? Are you from Erie, Pennsylvania?
I'm a couple hours east of Erie. I grew up. Port Allegheny was the town. It's actually a couple hours from where I'm at now. I'm in Corey, a little bit south of Erie, PA. So I've been here my whole life in this region. Yeah.
Nice, dude. So, Scott, growing up, man, when did you learn about, what is it called, being a woodsman or something? What is it called? Carpenter?
Well, my very first wood carving, I think I did in 7th grade by hand. That's when I discovered I wanted to be an artist. I did a little horse carving, and I wasn't very good at math. So like my senior year, I had, I think, 6 art classes or something, So I knew I was an artist of sorts. I didn't discover wood carving till 15 years ago when I was, what would that be, 40 years old. But I've done every other type of sculptor. I went to school for sculpture, did stone carving, little bronze casting, a lot of clay work, figure drawing. I loved everything about art, but I never could make money with it till I discovered chainsaw carving. And that's kind of opened the world up in a different way for me.
Scott, who teaches you that? Is that Pops? Is that you? How do you learn that?
I just bought a chainsaw and went behind my woodshed for about a year and learned on my own. And then I started going to a few shows and running into the guys that are still, a lot of them are still my friends now, good friends. And it's a really cool community. It's not a real big community. There's a few hundred carvers in the country, a few thousand in the world probably. And they share information. We have a good time, and I learned it. So I guess I learned on my own and from my friends, from the peers. When
did you start? Is that what you're known for? Are you known for other things? Like, what are you most known for?
It's a chainsaw carver. I've been doing it professionally for 15 years. So in my local region, I'm real well known. I'm on a busy road with my gallery. And I just started. I had a couple chainsaws and a hand truck and bought a load of logs and got us a little place on a busy road and started carving, bears and eagles and owls and wolves. They were the kind of chainsaw carving thing. And they sold, so I was able to keep going. So it just kind of, it's a combination of figuring out how to be a businessman, learning how to carve. I was a decent sculptor, but the chainsaw carving took several years to get good and fast at.
So I see you, and I watch you through social. I see a lot of tables. Is that your main thing, or do you do other things?
For 14 years, I did other things. Last November, I made my first crocodile table, and it went wild on the internet. And I haven't done anything but tables since November.
So as I look at your stuff, man, the one limitations I see is what looks insane is anything that like can float above the water or look like a surface. To me, just looks awesome, right? I've seen the crocodile. I think I've seen a shark, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, coming out of the end. I did a few sharks. One of them I still have, and it was one of the things I struggled with the most. I couldn't get the head and fin to match the way I had envisioned a shark underwater. So spent a lot of time on that. I'm doing 2 fighter jets right now that are
Nice.
that are kind of banking out of the clouds, and I'm real excited about that piece. So we'll see how.
When you're doing stuff, Scott, and it messes up, right? Like let's say you're not happy with it. Do you start over? Can you fix it? How does that work? Or do you make the table shorter? What do you do?
Ah, man, that doesn't happen very much. Um, I try to do almost all my pieces, all the table pieces I can, I do them out of one piece of wood. So if I would happen to break something off, I don't want to be adding pieces back on. That kind of takes, to me, that takes the whole craziness about it, it's all carved out of one piece. I don't have that happen a lot. With 3D carvings, you can fix just about anything, or if you're willing to add pieces, you can exponentially just repair stuff. And some things I've done are they're just impossible out of one piece for dimensional reasons or structural reasons too. With wood, the grain's only strong in one direction. So you got to take that kind of thing into account. But these low profile tables are pretty, there's a lot you can do with them, I think. I'm still exploring.
Scott, question. Do you have a YouTube channel also, or you just mainly use Instagram?
I'm just doing Instagram and Facebook. I want to do a YouTube channel with a little bit more instructional stuff coming up.
Dude, all right. So when are you gonna start that?
As soon as I can find an assistant that wants to
No,
be out with the cameras and
no. This is what you need to do, dude. I'm gonna tell you because you're a good looking dude. You got a great set of hair, got a great look, right? You're in a great place. You got a great setup behind you, and you're super talented, man. What happens is the hardest thing to find, you already have. The second hardest thing to find is the team who's going to sit there, record you, edit it. Oh, it's going to take forever, right?
right.
But here's the good news, man. If I were you, this same setup you have here right now, maybe your iPhone or your daughter's iPhone or camera, I would just start, man. And the first thing I would say is, what's up, guys? Scott here. I don't know anything about cameras. Well, my job is table cutting. Check, let's go. And then just start documenting your idea when people, almost like I see you exactly like, you remember Jesse James with the bicycles and the choppers?
Oh yeah.
Like literally that. Okay, so we got a guy come in from Miami. He wants a cigarette bowl coming out of here. Guys, this is hard, but I think if you already start doing that and you keep it simple.
Yeah.
In the meantime, while you hire or you interview people or you send footage to people, say, guys, this is what I have so far. What do you think? Because the passion you have and your talent, Scott, only you know everything about this. Nobody on any other side is going to come in and go, okay, so let's do this and that. I don't know too many people in Pennsylvania, in Erie, Pennsylvania, that are crushing in that department, right?
No.
But because your stuff is so natural and it's so easy because it's an organic thing, you're not selling a product, you're documenting the enormous success and the enormous talent you have, which I think it's a no-brainer. So I would start today. I would get out of this phone call, and I don't care if you're gonna do a birdhouse or another thing or something you're working on already. I would do that, and then you have to do, which we're gonna get into now. You have to do the whole story of the Joe Rogan table. That you have to do, like you have to do your story where you sit down interview style and you say, listen, guys, let me tell you this story. And boom.
Yeah.
So I think you should start this dude immediately, man. And you have, it seems like you have young kids. So run it through by them after you record it. Say, hey guys, take a look at this. What do you think? I think that'll be huge for you, dude.
All right. I'll do it. I'll take that advice. I've been thinking about it hard.
Oh, just shoot, dude. Just go. Just
I was
go.
a little bit torn. Like, how much information do you put out there? I built custom
Not enough.
tools and
Not enough. Put out everything. You put out everything. Because remember, there's no secret here. The secret is kidnapping you and having you do it. And unless somebody's going to do that, you have no competition.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're showing people how to do it. No, you're showing people how you do it. Your formula, your magic.
Right.
And then what's going to happen, we're going to hear a story about that shirt that says 2023. Is that a chainsaw?
Yeah, that was a chainsaw event in Germany I did last year, last spring.
Nice.
I've done it a few times. It's awesome, crazy event.
So when you go to that event, you bring somebody with a camera,
Hmm.
or your wife, your whoever. Hey, just record me. You talk into it eventually. Hey guys, so I'm here in Munich, wherever it's at. Last year I played 74. Today I'm gonna go for 54. Let's see if I can do this. And there's something, Scott, for everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Like I literally sat there and I looked at your table and I was like, and it's funny because how they use it there is, since it goes like this, they put all their party supplies and whatever they use,
Yep.
and it kind of fits the table
Right.
perfectly.
It goes in the snake. I know. I
and
love it. Yeah.
and I don't know, did you think about that while you were building it, or is that just part of the snake and they just created that?
I did think about functionality a little bit because I wanted to make sure it had enough table space, you know.
Right.
So, I mean, I just like the real squiggly design, if you
It
will.
is beautiful. So let's do it. Talk to me the whole process. How does Joe reach out to you? How do you get it done? The whole thing. Let's go.
So I just woke up to an Instagram message like it said, "Hey brother," from Joe. You know, he said, "Hey brother, I need this table in my life," and he had a picture of the crocodile. So I said, "Yeah, man, whatever you want." That picture is a 10-footer, and then then a little bit time went by, a few weeks, and I messaged him back. I'm like, "You're killing me, man." He's like, "No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to decide of what I want to do. Maybe an anaconda or a crocodile."
Hang tight there, Scott. So you said you're killing me because he was like a little going back and forth.
No, we just had like 2 messages, and then I didn't hear from him again for a couple of weeks because I was
And
so
did you already
excited.
start doing it? Did you already start
No,
working on it or no?
no, because I didn't know he wanted an anaconda until I got back in touch, and he said that was the reason he was thinking about what he wanted.
Got it.
And so I said, "Are you a striker or a choker?" And he's like, "Let's do the anaconda," you know, because pretty vast, you know, the way they attack is a little different than the crocodile. So that was it, and he commissioned me to do that table, and I took it down to Texas. I actually took 2 tables. He ended up buying a crocodile that I had, and he was going to put the crocodile at the comedy club and the anaconda at the studio. And we got there and unloaded it, and you know how Joe is. He gets something in his mind. He's like, "I really feel that we need to get this anaconda into the comedy club." And you can see why it fits size wise. It matches the floor. You know, it's just perfect up there. And his guys are like, "I don't think it'll fit up the stairway, Joe." And I said, "Well, I'm here with my truck. Let's go." You know,
Scott,
I'm here.
quick question. You built that in Austin or you built that in Erie?
I built it in Erie, drove it to Austin.
Okay, so let's go step by buddy. See, this is gonna help you because when you tell this story, we gotta go step. We can't be skipping here.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
No. You're the man, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
you're in Erie. You have one of the most successful, powerful, greatest dudes of all time commissions you for a piece. Okay, how do you sit there and go, okay, I'm gonna do this? Talk to me about your process. Did you write? Do you write down? Do you
Yeah, I
go
draw it up.
pray? Do you go light a fire somewhere and do some yoga? What do you do?
I think about it a lot. You know, a few days, try to imagine what it is. And I had done a couple snakes previously, and obviously some crocodiles. And um, I drew it out I look at images on Google. I drew it out on the chalkboard until I came up with a design I liked. Then I went out and found a log that I thought would work, spray painted it, cut it down and spray painted right on the log. And that's when I communicated with Joe again. I said, "This is what I'm thinking." And you know, you can basically see the proportions of what it would be with the size of the table, almost end to end in this case. And Joe's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So then
Scott, the color. You pick that color. Do you run it by him for the color?
I didn't, he said, "Whatever you think." In every step of the way, Joe kind of said, "Whatever you think, you know, I'm buying your stuff. I don't want you
To customize it. So
control what you're
how
making."
do you think of color? Because it's a brown. So the snake by itself, it's a brown table, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
in your brain, did you imagine the snake in the dirt? Do you imagine the snake in the water? What are you thinking?
It was in the water in that case to
Okay.
me.
Okay.
And I actually I didn't paint that one, but I used a torch, take a high temperature torch and burn it and then sand back into the texture. And it's really, it brings out you know, the surface of it really good when you do that. And then I kept the water, natural wood around it, and it works in that case. It doesn't work in all cases. Sometimes I don't know if you saw, were you at his studio and see a couple of the other tables?
No, I haven't been there yet. No.
There was a painted one over there. So I just thought it looked right, you know, so I went with it. The torch technique is super effective to pop out the carving that you do, all the little lines. And
Scott, how long does it take you from start to finish to finish that?
start to finish, maybe 100 hours if you count all the finish time. And like I put,
How many days? How many days is that for you?
I probably carve it in a week, 5 days, five, you know, good days. I don't screw around. I usually get right to work.
You get right to work. And let's say now a regular client, how backed up are you now?
It's hard to say. I think I have 4 tables with money down on right now. I have a lot of people that we've been talking to with future projects, or, you know, because when you're buying a table like that, you don't necessarily, like you said, don't have a place to put it yet.
Right.
People that are, you know, building houses this year and stuff. So I have several on the burner. Couple months, I'm solid booked, I'd say.
And on that table, first of all, did you name the table? Does the table have a name or no?
No, just the Anaconda Table.
The Anaconda Table. I like it. The Anaconda Table.
Joe's Anaconda Table.
Joe's Anaconda Table. How high did you want to make it? Did you know it was going to be like a low, because it's a lower table? Was that on purpose, or is that an improvisational thing we did in Austin?
I made it the same height of his tables that were there already. He gave me the height. But remember, this wasn't going to the comedy club originally, so I had to actually steal the bases from the crocodile for that one.
Wow.
And then we couldn't fit it up the stairs. It just wasn't gonna.
So what did you do? Like have to like crane it in or something? How'd you guys get in?
Well, we went to every exit, every elevator, and every possibility. We talked about overhead lifts.
You and how many people, Scott?
Me, Joe, my good buddy Matt that rode down with me, and 2 or 3 security guards.
Wow.
It was wild, you know. We're running around the comedy club.
What a story.
It was.
What a story.
And finally, the one security guy says, Joe, unless we cut that thing in half, it's not going up. And Joe's like, looks at me and says, can we do that? And I'm like, yeah, if I had a chainsaw, I could.
So what do you cut it in half and then glue it back on?
I didn't have a chainsaw, and Joe's like, well, go to Home Depot and buy one. And when I was there, I found hardware where I had long pieces of steel that I could put underneath, pull it together, and use screws to hold it together. So it's basically got a support system on it, under it, with
wow,
stuff
dude.
I bought at Home Depot. So I come back and it's still in the back of my truck, 4-way flashers out in the front of the comedy mothership on, I guess it's 6th Street.
6th Street, yeah, of course.
So Joe comes out with me to look at the table, and people in restaurants see him, and next thing you know, there's 250 people around my truck, of course.
Oh my God, we needed a camera. You didn't capture any of this.
I know, I have one picture of it, but it was, and I was in the truck, Joe was in the truck holding it, and he's like, do you want to mark it? And I was like, no, just hold it. I was nervous, I was sweating so bad.
Now, you were nervous, why? Because you're not used to the attention. You're like, this thing's gonna break. I hope this holds up. What were you thinking?
Maybe all of that stuff.
All of that, huh?
You're up there with Rogan. I'm going to cut this table I just spent a month and a half on in half with a chainsaw, and I want it to be perfect. I don't want to screw it up.
You don't want to screw it up, yeah.
And so, and it was a perfect cut, and we got it. When from there, it was easy. Walked up the stairs and put it in place, and there it is. But it was a crazy experience, the whole thing.
How proud are you of that, man? Because it's like I tell people a lot. It's easy for me to appreciate hair because I don't have any, right? So I see a guy like you, a great set of hair. I'm like, wow, it's a great set of hair, right? But you've have had this talent for, I'm assuming, a real long time, dude. How proud are you of that table, man?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't think of things in terms of being proud of that. I guess it's like, for me, it's just always trying to make something better than the last one. I'm certainly blessed that Joe bought it. I guess proud enough of it that he saw it and thought it was cool enough that he needed it. I mean, obviously that feels good. Um, but I don't know. It's a tough question. I don't know how to answer that.
Dude, you got to sit back, man. I think it's such a big accomplishment, you know. And I think also what happens is when as you get more and more busy that you are, you forget. You know, it's like, I just did that, and it's another thing. But it's so iconic, man, and it fits that room so good. I'm telling you, I just looked at that thing for I was there for a weekend, and I looked at that. I couldn't stop looking at it.
Appreciate that. I mean, I'm always on to the next thing, you know,
Yeah.
it's, I think that's the only reason I survived in this business, you know, is
No,
always,
you have to be.
you
Scott,
gotta
question.
one up yourself, you know,
Of course. How many other tables like that do you have around your house?
nothing.
Nothing.
I have a few, carvings, marble carvings from college, a couple bronze castings. I have my second chainsaw carving I ever did is this terrible looking cat out on the back porch, and that's it, that's it, that's all I have.
Why don't you have any of that for your house, man?
I don't know, I need to sell
No, dude, oh my God. I'd have your house, buddy. You'd be
it.
Oh my gosh, dude. That is
I don't get attached to it. I'm always attached to the one that's coming.
I
That's,
like that. I like that.
you know,
And when Scott, when people reach out to you, do you listen to them and then like consult them a little bit? Okay, so you want this? Listen, this is gonna be a headache, or this is a because I saw an octopus. I've seen so many things, right? That
yeah,
look super dope. Do you like kind of like, hey, this is gonna be a mission, or be careful with this? Do you do that?
I do. If there's actually one of my really good friends helps me with social media, he kind of filters it down to serious people. And then at that point, I'll start talking to them. I mean, if it's something like a gator that I've done over and over and there's not a technical issue or something, I don't necessarily. Um, but yeah, I want to know what they want. I mean, one of the things with these is there's a range of functionality, you know, you could carve the whole thing, but you wouldn't be able to set a glass on it. So how, you know, how much functionality does your customer want out of it is one thing. And then, like you said, anything that's, like these jets, for example, I'm working on, it's a commission piece. And our initial discussion, he wanted them banked really hard, and, you know, it's a structural issue when he was also worried his kid was gonna break them, so
Right, 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 right.
like, you know, where can we fall and getting you what you want, but keep it structural. So yeah, absolutely. I work it out on the chalkboard and send photos from my chalkboard usually with customers back and forth, you know.
Scott,
So
what's the craziest thing you've that they've requested? You're like, oh, this is out of control.
maybe the fighter jets.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it was like, it's a different thing. I mean, I've been doing primarily animal carvings for 15 years. And to do something hard edged and angular like jets was a little bit, you know, intimidating when I first started thinking about it. But when I was growing up, I was really into World War II, airplanes and tanks and ships and stuff.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I had that interest to begin with. And now that I'm looking at these modern, well, they're not modern anymore, but these fighter jets, they're wicked, you know, the
Yeah.
designs are so cool. So I'm loving it. But I'd say that's one of the crazier ones that have come by request. I think the octopus, the Kraken with the ship is the craziest that I've done so far.
Yeah.
I just did that for fun.
Have you sold it yet or no?
Nope, not yet. But it was made out of a one piece, the base, the top, everything was all just one log. So it was, for me, it was like a technical challenge to pull that off, and I was happy with it. So
Dude, that's awesome. Scott, let's talk family, dude. So you have what? How many kids do you have?
I have three kids. They're all gone from, well, my daughter lives up, my youngest lives upstairs, but they're all graduated. My middle daughter's in PT school, getting her doctorate in physical therapy. My youngest daughter is in nursing school. And
Nice.
my oldest son works, he's an executive at Ford, manages a parts depot in out west Portland.
Nice. Growing up, any of them play any sports?
Yeah, my son was actually state champ high hurdler in high school, and then he ran
Oh,
track for Allegheny College and Penn State for a couple semesters. My daughter played every sport beyond what we wanted. She kicked the only extra point for the varsity football team as a senior. She
nice.
wanted to be a kicker. I didn't support that, but
Dude, that's
But
That's
she did
awesome, man.
every sport. Yeah. And my youngest was, volleyball was her favorite sport.
Dude, that's nice,
So.
man. That's nice. Being a dad, dude, talk to me about that. Is it hard? Is it something that's natural to you, like doing tables? How is that journey for you?
It's been great. I mean, I have a great relationship with my kids. I always have. Every now and then I'll remind them that I carried them out of bed and set them by the fireplace from when they were, every day that they had to go to school, I'd carry them out of pick them out of their bed, lay them in front of the fireplace to get dressed. And I did that until I couldn't carry them anymore, and I don't know, I think we have a great relationship, I hope, and it's been, I don't know, it's a big thing. You take the way your life was, the way you were raised. I had a father, then a divorce when I was 8 years old, and then got a really strict stepfather. And you know, I hated the guy for a long time because I was a kid. And but
Right, of course.
now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm like, man, he taught me everything. So when you're thinking about your own kids and what you're going to try to teach them, you try to
Absolutely.
not push them away by telling them too much, but give them good. It's been exciting. I love having kids.
How was it raising the boy versus the girls?
Ooh, that's a good question. I guess my wife handled all of the certain things with my daughters, and so it
Right.
was a little different than that. But I don't know. It's all been good. They've all been really driven, so similar.
Nice. Scott, you look like a rock and roll guy, bro. What's your favorite type of music?
Rock and roll.
Yeah. What's your favorite band?
It depends on my mood. I mean, I love Metallica, if something like that. If I'm
I can
trying
tell.
to,
What's your favorite Metallica song? If you have to name one.
um, probably Nothing Else Matters. I guess that's a
That's a
little
good one.
slower,
No,
but
it's a good one. It's a good one.
yeah. I mean, AC/DC.
That's a good
When
one.
I was younger, I used to say I only like two kinds of music: old AC/DC and new
What's
AC/DC.
your favorite AC/DC song?
Ooh, jeez, Back in Black. I mean,
Back,
yeah,
I said, dude, as a baseball
all of
player,
there's so many good ones.
listen, as a baseball player, we do something called infield outfield, which is like your warm up thing. Here in Miami, bro, where there's a bunch of Cubans, everybody speaks Spanish here, okay?
Right, right.
Every first song, Back in Black. That's
Yeah,
all I heard. College, high school, like, what's up with this song? But now that I'm older, I get it, man. It's a big deal song. It's very popular.
that whole album was good. Texas Hippie Coalition?
No, never heard of
That's
that.
probably that's the rock and roll I like right now. If I want something
Yeah.
that down that vein, check them out. They really jam.
Do
But I
you
like
jam
all
that?
kinds of music.
You jam that while you do you play music while you're working?
I do not as much. I'm trying to do 50 audiobooks this year, so I've been working my way
Really?
through that. Yeah.
Why is that? What's the reason? To better ourselves? What are we looking for here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. My last 10 years have been that, 12 years, I guess. Since 2011, I decided that I need to get my shit together, and but last year I got into a lot of podcasts and politics, and I'm like, this is just wearing me down, the same old stuff.
Right,
And
right, right.
thought I wanted to do some audiobooks. Actually, it was New Year's Eve, and I already knew I was getting back in the gym, the typical New Year's Eve stuff, but I'm like, I'm getting myself back in shape. And my wife was talking to somebody that had read 50 books last year. And I'm like, well, that would be so easy on audiobooks because I can do that while I work. So that's one of my goals this year. But when I listen to music, I have like 500 songs on my playlist, and it's all different genres, from
I,
Metallica, Thievery Corporation. I like a lot of new country, Morgan Wallen.
nice.
You know the list.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, just
Question,
love music.
question. Since you mentioned that, what audiobook are you excited about that you've read? Anything?
I just read War on the West by Douglas Murray. I tried to read Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life in an actual book, and I couldn't I couldn't do it. It was just
Yeah.
the language is too hard. I might try that in audiobook. Um,
What did we learn from
I think
the first book? The first book, the one you mentioned. What did you learn from it? Anything special?
War on, yeah, I probably learned a lot from them, but I mean, I guess a lot of stuff I already know about about the dangers of the world and culture and where
Right,
things
right,
are
right, right.
going, you know. So yeah, that was good. I read Ordinary Men before that, and that's a. Do you know that book at all?
No, 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 no.
It's about a Nazi battalion, and it's a book trying to see how ordinary people do what they did. It goes through. It's tough. It's a tough read, but
Really.
to learn about people, learn about yourself. You know.
Scott, I think, dude, listen, I think first of all, one day I gotta set up something to go visit you out there. That's number one.
Yes,
But
please.
but
It'd be
number
awesome.
two, I think you start, there's so many things you can do, man, that you just put a camera in front. Even it'd be interesting to hear you review the books that you've listened to. Just give your take on it. You know, all that stuff. The best rule about doing what you do is that there is no rules,
Right.
because you think it's the table. That's what attracts us, right? It's like, hey, the guy does a good table. Look at this, is awesome. But once we get to know the dude and with the journey the dude's on, that's the magic. And people who don't do content regularly, they get scared of that. Like, oh, people, is it too
Yeah.
much information? Is it? Nah, there's not. It's just. It'll be like me worried about, is the table too heavy? Not heavy. I'll be like, listen, buddy, forget about the table being heavy. This is how it works. It's just like how you put you cutting a table in half and putting that thing under. It's
Hmm.
even a video of you becoming the how-to guy. Guys, listen, if you're out there, let me teach you how to cut a table in half and put it together.
Yeah.
That in general is huge. My biggest videos, and I talk about probably everything in my personal life, is how to break in a baseball glove.
How to break in a baseball glove?
Yes, the most average thing in the world, like, it's crazy, dude. So
How is it? You play catch?
no, that was the old school way, but no, you go through a whole process. You break it in
Right.
with a mallet, you wet it, you have to shape it, because remember, every position has a different form, right? First base is different than outfield, and infielder is shorter.
Right.
To me,
Right.
it's amazing, dude. Scott, I can't
Science
thank
to
you
everything.
enough. Listen, I can't thank you enough, dude, for your time, your information. I think you're gonna be really, really, like, this is only the beginning for you, man. I really do.
Thank
I'm
you.
I'm
Well,
so excited to see your future work and stuff like that. To me, it's amazing, man.
appreciate it.
Tell the people where they could find you, bro. Other than your YouTube when you start. I am gonna repost whenever you send it. You're gonna send me a picture. I'm gonna put it on my thing too. But where can people find you?
ScottDowArt.com is my website. Scott Dow on Facebook, and then the dot underscore dot Dow on Instagram.
DOW, right?
DOW.
There he
I'm
is.
hoping I'm an heir to the chemical corporation, but I haven't checked yet.
My man. All right, let me hit stop right here, Scott.
All right, brother.
Don't go anywhere. Don't move. Okay, let
Yeah.
me stop this.